so much for being here. A lot less people in this room today. That feels a lot better than yesterday, so thank you. Before we get started, there's some folks in the room I want to acknowledge. I want to thank our city council members who are here today. I know I saw Kathy Schaaf and Marilyn Pohl. Not sure if anybody else is here, but want to thank them. And also there's members of my transition team here today. If you're on the transition team, can you just raise your hand so we can all see you? Thank you. Thank you so much for all your work. So it feels a little surreal that less than 24 hours ago, I was inaugurated as the 49th mayor of Erie, although it still feels pretty great to say that. And since then, we certainly haven't slowed down. Erie's next chapter has officially begun, and today brings another round of exciting announcements, including several organizational updates. So I'm going to get right to it. Today we are announcing the creation of the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs, the establishment of a new Office of Grants, the restructuring and bureau alignment of the Department of Economic and Community Development into the Department of Neighborhood and Economic Development. So I'll get to the leadership updates in a moment, but first, I really want to thank those members of the transition team, those that are here and those that are not, for all their work. They did an incredible job of reviewing an enormous amount of information from departments across City Hall and making these recommendations for today. Today's announcements directly reflect the outcomes of the work of the transition team. And I want to say, for those of you that might have been waiting, like, when is she going to announce anything else? We wanted our transition team to have time to do their work and to make their recommendations, and so that's why we didn't want to rush them. So these reorganized positions are designed to strengthen the city's internal capacity, improve our responsiveness to our residents, and better position city operations to meet our long-term strategic priorities. I also want to be very clear. All of the changes we are announcing today are budget neutral. They represent either a reallocation, a reorganization, or a filling of a retirement, and they remain within the budget passed by City Council a few weeks ago. So first, I'll start with the Mayor's Office of Community Affairs. This restructured office builds and expands on the work previously housed within the Department of Communications and will serve as the city's central hub for public communication, community engagement, and residents' response. The office will prioritize accessibility, responsiveness, and relationship building, and it's designed to ensure that residents can engage with city government clearly and consistently. Whether our residents are seeking information, submitting their concerns, attending our events, or building partnerships with us, this department's focus is you, our community. The office will be overseen by my Chief of Staff, Lori Ratter-Spicer, and will include the following 6 roles. So I have asked everyone to join us on stage today. So as I announce their names, they're just going to step forward. And at the end of each department, we can give them all a round of applause. So first, Mary Wassel, a new hire, will serve as the Media and Public Relations Coordinator. Monica Gustin will continue to serve as the Digital Media and Design Coordinator. Mas Sela will continue to serve as the Citizen Response Center Coordinator. Hunter Lytle, a new hire, will take over as Special Events Coordinator. Wuji Ahmad, also a new hire but a familiar face from my transition team, will serve as our New American Affairs Coordinator. And finally, Tori Williams. Tori wasn't able to be with us this morning, but she'll be joining the team as the coordinator for this office so that we don't drive Lori too crazy. She's going to help Lori manage the workflows, and she'll join this affairs. So please join me in a round of applause for these new employees. Together, these roles will break down silos. They will streamline and support proactive communication, coordinated event planning. That includes, by the way, Celebrate Erie for this year, and also, oh, they're shifting around. And also a very large amount of planning for America 250. Some of you might know and have heard, and Erie needs to get in the game and start doing our own planning. So all of these special events in this next year. Neighborhood level engagement, language access, so important to our New American community, and improved responsiveness. Ultimately, this department will ensure that our community members' needs are met with care and excellence. Okay, moving on, we have a new Office of Grants. So this office will centralize the city's grant strategy, our compliance, and our reporting functions to ensure that Erie is well positioned to continue to secure, but also to manage and steward public and philanthropic dollars. By bringing grant development and oversight under one office, the city aims to increase competitiveness for funding opportunities, improve compliance and transparency, and better align our grant funding with our city priorities. This office will include the following 3 roles, and again, I'll ask you to hold your applause until the end. Dave Tamulonis, a new hire but a familiar face to many of you, will serve as our grants director. Aaron Lonke will continue in his role as the city's grant writer, and Kat Blair, a familiar face to many of you here at City Hall, will be our new grant administrator. Thank you all. And last but certainly not least, we have the Department of Neighborhood and Economic Development, formerly known, and it's a slight change, I know, but formerly known as the Department of Economic and Community Development. This restructuring and renaming is intended to reflect the city's focus on neighborhood vitality, housing, planning, and equitable economic growth. The department will be led by a new hire, Catherine Easterling, and will include our 3 existing bureaus: the Bureau of Planning and Zoning, led by Jackie Spry, the Bureau of Building Safety and Standards, where Steve Yerkowitz will continue to serve as Bureau Chief, and the Bureau of DECD Grants, with Deb Smith leading that bureau, being aided by Dave Dieter as the Assistant Chief. And I want to say here, I want to be very clear that the work that's been done by Jackie, by Deb, by Dave, and by Steve, all of that work will continue, but we have brought them all together under this new department led by Catherine Easterling to make sure that our processes and our work with regard to land use and planning is all very consistent. So please join me in thanking and welcoming all of them. So this structure with this department will align development to my administration's vision and comprehensive plans while meeting our goals for growth, strengthening coordination among our land use processes, our planning, housing, code enforcement, and all of our federally funded programs. And I know it feels like a lot at once, but let me assure you, as I said, this is the result of months of hard work by our transition team. These updates reflect my administration's commitment to our community, effective governance, clear accountability, and building stronger connections and trust between City Hall and its residents. I also want to say again that these changes and this restructuring simply reallocates existing roles within the current budget and does not add any additional expense. We were very clear in our desire to work within the budget that City Council had already passed. So in addition to that reorganization, I think it's very important as well that you know the full leadership of the City of Erie, which is why I've asked everyone to join us today. I want to take a moment and introduce the continuing leadership across several city departments, which reflect continuity in our day-to-day operations. First, the Department of Public Works continue to be led by Director Jason Sayers, with Assistant Director Jeff Gibbons, and also Assistant Director and City Engineer Leanne Parmenter. We also have our existing Bureau Chiefs, the Bureau Chief of Municipal Garage, Rob Bidow, the Bureau Chief of Parks, Gary Graham, the Bureau Chief of Refuse, led by Keith Cataldi. I'm saying them so fast, you guys probably can't even get up. I'm sorry, I'll slow down. The Bureau Chief of Sewers, Basil Ronzetti, and the Bureau Chief of Streets, Billy Weglin. Please join me in thanking them all for their work. So next, I want to recognize our fire department leadership. We have given our police department some recognition in the past weeks, and I just want to acknowledge we don't have change within the fire department, we have continuity. So our fire department will continue to be led by Len Trott in his role as fire chief. Greg Purchase and Al Bucarel will both continue to serve as assistant fire chiefs. Please join me in thanking them. And as we round out our city operations, I want to announce today that our Department of Finance will continue to be led by Director Lisa Gummersall with Assistant Director Melissa Rizzo. And finally, in the Department of Human Resources, we do have a new hire to announce today. The Department of Human Resources will be led by Teresa Kroll, a new hire. She has a broken elbow, so be kind to her. And Carol McWhorter will continue to serve as Assistant Director. Thanks to you both. So I want to be clear that the folks on this stage can't do what they do without all the other city employees who work every single day on behalf of our citizens. And I have to say that yesterday, even as I recognized in my speech and spoke to folks about the leadership we have, every single one of these people said to me, it's not me, it's my people. It's not me, it's the folks doing the work. So while I acknowledge those in leadership on stage today, please know that we see and we recognize the work of the hundreds of other city employees who make Erie run. I want to give them all a round of applause. And on that note, before we wrap up, I want to emphasize a simple and shared truth, that we are all in this together. For better or worse, we are all in this together. At the end of the day, my administration and I are committed to serving this community with our core values of care, trust, and excellence. And this restructuring is an important part of that work. Everything the administration and I do is intentional, and it holds our hope of telling the great story of our city. Later this month, we'll be releasing a public report by our transition team, it's a long one, so get ready, outlining their key findings, their recommendations, and opportunities for the work ahead, including our first 100-day plan. That plan will include our priorities for developing Erie's world-class waterfront, improving housing for all of our residents, increasing opportunities and outcomes for our youth, while also addressing our city's structural deficit to ensure long-term growth and stability. All of the changes announced today have been made in direct support of these priorities. We are beginning this term with joy, but also with clarity and care and accountability. And I'm confident that together with all of the folks on this stage and all of our employees, we are laying a strong foundation for what's to come. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here for this first exciting announcement today. We're going to keep writing that chapter together. Thank you all.